Hello, I'm Eric from Bosch and I'd like to show you the new GCM 12 SDE professional 12-inch sliding miter saw. It's a double bevel machine, and that's what the D means in the model code, by the way. And it has a number of quite interesting features. Let's just show you some of those. First of all, we have something that's becoming quite common with our benchtop saws now, integrated material supports there. So if the unit's being used on a workbench, you can simply slide these out, gives you a bit of extra support for longer work pieces. The back fence, of course, is also adjustable here, so you can move these sections out by loosening the wing bolts, and this again gives additional material support, or you can remove them completely when you're doing compound miter cuts where the cutting head might interfere with those back fences. So take them off, move them out, close them in, whatever you want to do. That's possible with it. Anything on a Bosch blue professional tool that's coloured red generally does something. Example here is just a simple spindle lock button there for changing the blade. This particular tool on the other side of the machine here has SDS blade change, which is very unusual on a miter saw, which means you don't now need an Allen key or a spanner. You just need your fingers to loosen the SDS nut, and you can change the blade real quick without worrying about where you left the Allen key last time. The sliding mechanism is conventional twin tubes that most people are used to, and to release the head you just push this lever over and bring the head down. I just want to draw your attention also to the drive mechanism here, which is a little bit unusual, and that is that we have a belt first of all from the motor which sits here, a belt drive, and then this is switched to a chain drive, so it's a combination of belt and chain drive down to the spindle. Why do we do this? Well, we wanted to get the really super cut capacity on this machine, so we wanted to make the gearbox as low in profile as possible, and we've done that, and this product can cut up to 120 millimeters vertically by 400 millimeters across the bed here, which is absolutely class leading. Also over here, coloured red as you'd expect, we have a simple mechanism to allow you to trench, because of course a sliding miter saw can do trenching or cut dados if you prefer to use that term, and you can enable this just by moving this little lever out, or sorry, moving the lever out so that you've got the stop in place, and you can see now that the stop is preventing the blade from dropping right through, and you can adjust the trenching height just by moving this simple threaded rod. And if you've made your trenching cut, you can simply disable the trenching by moving this out of the way, and allows you then to cut all the way through, cut some stock, and then if you want to remember the trenching depth you had before or resume trenching, you just move the lever back, so there's no messing around with losing adjustments there. We've got something again which is becoming familiar on the Bosch miter saws. We have a release lever for beveling. It's not round the back, which is a real stretch and a faff sometimes. It's on the side, and you just literally move the lever towards you to enable left-hand bevel, for example. We have, of course, a stop at 0, as you'd expect if you want to disable that. To make right-hand bevel, you simply move this lever back and over to the right you go. Okay, usual quadrant at the back with a marker and a scale. But what's interesting is that you'll find on both sides a turret which is similar to what you'll find on a router. So we have the popular angles. We have 47, 45, 22.5, 39, 33.9, sorry, which are commonly used bevel angles, and they're just selectable here by turning this dial. So if I set the 22.5, the angles are actually printed on the turret, so you can't really get that wrong. You in this case want to bevel over to this side, it just stops at 22.5 if that's what you want, and then you can turn this round to give you the usual 45, or the extra couple of degrees if you wish, 47. Lock the bevel by pushing the lever away from you, so it's very obvious, it's bright red and it's right there where you need it without fiddling around behind the machine, which is the case on some models out there. Laser, switch on top of the handle, that allows you to see where the cut will take place. That's fairly common now, but also a useful feature. And of course with the E on the end of the model code, it means this machine has electronic speed control, which is unusual on a saw like this. which allows you to back the motor off, back the motor speed down a little bit when you're cutting hardwood or some composites which tend to burn if you go in at full speed, and of course gives you the extra flexibility of cutting non-ferrous metal, for example, like aluminium extrusions, by turning the speed down. There's a little speed dial on the motor, on the end cap of the motor for that function. So all in all, a huge cut capacity from this machine, yet it's still transportable, and that's the Bosch GCM 12 SDE professional double bevel 12-inch sliding miter saw.